All right, we're back with another overtime episode number 32. Back with more Scream with Scream 3 from the year 2000. Um, this is the one, like I said, at the end of Scream 2 that people are kind of iffy on. Um, this was the end of the Scream trilogy, and then it doesn't come back until when did that fourth Scream come out? Like 2010 or something? And at that point, I don't think Wes Craven had anything to do with it. I'm not sure. Wes Craven directed this one again, so he was involved with all three of these movies. Um, but this was the end of the original trilogy of movies, and it's still not bad. Like, it's not a bad movie at all, but I think it's definitely a drop in quality to the last two. I'm kind of split down the middle on it. I'm gonna give it a 5. Um, but like I said, it's still like it's enjoyable to watch. It's not, it's not a bad film. But compared to the other two, obviously I like those, way better than this. So this one I was just kind of like, yeah, it is what it is. Um, so hey, spoiler warning for Scream 3. Gonna ruin everything about it. So you've been warned. Um, the movie opens up and we are with Cotton Weary, who is stuck in traffic. I guess after the end of the second one, he's kind of hit it big in Hollywood. He's talking on the phone to his agent about how, he went from starring in his own TV show and in his own movies and stuff to, he's doing a cameo in this slasher movie, which we'll learn later is Stab 3, the fictional movie based in these Scream movies. It's about the Scream killer and everything. I'm back. I got a package. As soon as I started this, got a package. But uh, but yeah, and so he's now just doing like a cameo in this little slasher movie, and he's like, man, I need a better fucking agent. Um, as he's talking to this guy, he gets a phone call from a woman who, it's a wrong number. He's like, oh, sorry, it's the wrong guy. And she goes, well, hey, wait a second. I recognize your voice. You're that Cotton Weary guy, right? And he's like, well, yeah. And she's like, I think that Cotton Weary's kind of hot. And so he's like, ooh. So he goes back over to his agent. He's like, I got to let you go. I got this other lady on the phone. And he hangs up and goes back and starts talking to her. And she's like flirting with him and shit. But then eventually she's like, what would your girlfriend think about all this? And he's like, what makes you think I have a girlfriend? And she's like, well, the fact that I'm standing looking at her right now. And it changes to the Ghostface voice. And we see that Ghostface is in Cotton Weary's house watching his girlfriend in the shower and shit. And Cotton Weary's like, who is this? And he's like, listen here, you fucking asshole. Because Ghostface just immediately starts cussing. He's like, I'm a gutter like a fish. You know how he talks and shit. Ghostface wants to know where Sidney Prescott is. And Cotton is like, I don't know. She dropped off the face of the earth or whatever. He's like, I can't tell you that. And the Ghostface is like, wrong answer, and hangs up. So Cotton immediately starts like hauling ass. He's cutting through traffic. He's running stoplights and shit, almost getting into accidents. He's trying to call her on the phone, but then we'll see in a little bit that the phone line is cut, so he can't get through to her. Ghostface inside the house turns on what I'm pretty sure was like some Creed, and I was like, oh shit, like I didn't know this was like prime Creed days though. But he's just blasting it in the house, and so the girlfriend who's out of the shower at this point is like, what the fuck? So she goes walking, and I think she gets to the radio and turns it off, or the radio might have cut off by itself. I can't remember exactly, but it cuts off. And then as it cuts off, she hears the door open in the house and close, and she hears Cotton's voice saying, hey, honey, I'm home or whatever. And she's like, oh, I'm in here. And he's like, okay. and then it jumps out and it's Ghostface, and she's like, "Oh shit!" and she goes running. They get into a little scuffle, but she manages to break free and get into the bathroom in the house, where she closes and locks the door. But once again, outside of the door, you hear Cotton's voice saying, "Hey, so I was just playing around. It was a joke and stuff." And she's real confused and shit. And she's like, "What kind of joke are you playing?" And he's like, "The joke where I see your guts spill from your body. And he starts stabbing into the door and shit. We cut over to Cotton, who just got home, and he picks up a fire poker that's next to the fireplace, and he goes stalking through the house looking for the person that was on the phone. He eventually sees the bathroom door with all the knife marks and shit in it, so he goes to the door. He starts saying, "Hey, let me in," but no one's answering. So eventually he just busts through, and as he does that, the girlfriend comes jumping out of the closet in this bathroom with like a golf club and starts swinging at him. And he's like, "Hey, it's me. What are you doing?" And she's like, "You've gone crazy." She's like, "You're trying to kill me." He's like, "What are you talking about?" So eventually he drops the fire poker and he's like, what are you doing?" And she's like, "You tried to attack me," all this shit. As she's saying it, behind her in the door, Ghostface is creeping up on her. And so Cotton lunges where he's going, "Hey," and she just swings and nails him straight in the head. And as he falls down, Ghostface comes up behind her and stabs her in the back. And she falls down dead. Cotton manages to get up and start fighting a little bit, but eventually he's just hit down to the ground where he's stabbed in the back, and then he's turned over onto his back, and Ghostface shows him the new voice box thing, and he's like, and shows him that he's talking to him, and then he stabs Cotton Weary in the chest and kills Cotton Weary. That's how the movie starts. Instead of these not no name, but the big name characters who don't really play a part in the story. They're just there to be the big name that gets killed. This was the first one that started off with an actual character who's been there for all three movies, even with his small part in the first one where he was just basically on the news where it was talking about him murdering the mom and shit. But it kills Cotton Weary. Now, this scene also opens up with what a lot of people's biggest problem with this movie is the bullshit voice box thing they use, where somehow it's 100% the exact same voice as the people he's talking to. And even when he's talking as other people, next to other people, it sounds exactly like them. And it's like, that's not how that works. Like, you would still be able to notice the other voice behind that voice. And that's what a lot of people's problem with this movie is. To be fair, you just shut your brain off and it doesn't really bother you all that much. It's bullshit, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I wasn't like the whole movie like, "Oh, come on," So then, after that happens, we go to Sydney, Sydney is basically living Jamie Lee Curtis's life from the 2018 Halloween reboot. Where she is on this secluded house in the middle of nowhere. There's this gate that she closes, and the gate has an alarm, and then there's this long dirt road until she gets to her house, and the house has an alarm and everything. So she's just kind of living in seclusion away from everyone, and with a bunch of security alarms and shit everywhere. Which, I mean, fair play to her. She's been through a lot of shit in the last two movies, so you can't really argue with her. She also has a dog. Shout out to, they don't ever give him a name, but it's a golden retriever. And he makes it through the whole movie. I was very surprised, because usually they're one of the first to go, the good old doggies. But he manages to make it through the whole movie. Granted, he's in the opening scene, and then a little bit later, and then he's at the end of the movie. He's not in the movie very long. But anyway, we see that Sydney is working from home as a women's crisis counselor, where women call her up and they'll say, "Hey, my boyfriend's hurting me," or maybe I'm an alcoholic or something like that. But that's how she's working, and I thought that was a nice little touch, is that she's working, trying to help out women who maybe some of them are going through kind of the same stuff she's going through. Obviously, hers is a more extreme case. Um, but yeah, I like that. After that, we cut to Courtney Cox, who is giving a speech to like up and coming journalists and shit. And like one random kid jumps up and he's like, "So you're telling us that we gotta cut all our friends' throat to make it to the top like you did?" And she's like, "Well, kinda." And he's like, "Was it worth it?" You know? And then like the principal of the school was like, "All right, everyone stop," and they shut down the meeting. Which that scene kind of random. That kid never pops up again. It doesn't really have a point. I guess it's because, you know, Gail's whole character arc throughout here was learning not to just backstab everyone and, you know, actually maintaining relationships she makes with people. And so maybe that's what it is like, hey, you know, do you regret all these people you've hurt along the way? And throughout these movies, we start to realize that she does. Like, I think in the second one, she talks about how she hates what she's become or something like that. Um, anyway, the meeting gets done. As Courtney Cox is leaving, she gets told that a police officer is outside. I was like, oh shit, it's Dewey. But it's not. It's a new character who works for the LAPD. I never caught his name throughout this whole movie. But he works for the LAPD, and he informs her that Cotton Weary was murdered, and a picture was left on top of Cotton's body, and it's a picture of Sydney's mom. So immediately they're like, well, Sydney must have something to do with this, you know? After that, we cut over, and we see the set of Stab 3, and we meet Roman, who is the director of Stab 3. And he's like talking to the producer of the movie named John Milton, who both of them will have recurring things throughout the movie, so they're important here. But Roman is talking about like, you know, oh man, are they going to shut the movie down and all this shit? And as the two LAPD officers are walking through the set, Roman goes, hey, you don't think that the movie had anything to do with Cotton's murder, right? And the one LAPD guy goes, the movie's called Stabbed. He was stabbed. And it was like, yeah, fair play, you know. As we're here, we get introduced to the cast of Stabbed, the girl playing Sydney, who I never caught her name. We get Jennifer, who's playing Courtney Cox's character. She's playing Gail. There's this black dude who I never caught his name throughout the movie either, but he's playing what basically they're calling like the replacement Randy. His name is Ricky. He works at the video store, you know, and all that shit. And this dude named Tommy, who is playing Dewey. And they're all sitting on like the front steps of the house, and they're just talking about how, you know, whether or not they should keep making the movie because, you know, like, they're like, would the killer come after them if they're making this movie? Cotton just got killed, and he was in the movie, and all this shit. But anyway, Courtney Cox is walking with the cops or whatever, and as she splits off, Dewey shows up, who I swear he has like slicked back hair and stuff in this movie, and he's wearing this suit and stuff, and he comes up and starts like acting like a cool guy, and it turns out he's with the actress who's playing Gail in the movie, and and she's like, really, you're with this girl? And throughout we never learn if they're in like a relationship or something, but she just kind of, she's like, you're supposed to be protecting me or something, you know. But Dewey's working on the movie as like an advisor, you know, so they can have like realistic details of what's going on. Also, when he sees Gail for the first time, he does have a line I like where he's like, surprise, surprise, someone dies and Gail comes to town or whatever. But yeah, and so then as they're talking, Tommy, who's playing Dewey in the movie, walks up, and Tommy's a super cool dude, and he's like smoking cigarettes, and he talks to Gail, and he's like, hey, I liked your article where you wrote about my car crash, and you said I was drunk and all this shit, and then he walks off, and Gail's like, who's he supposed to be playing? And Dewey sort of looks at her, and she's like, he's you? And she just starts laughing at him and shit, because this guy is like the total opposite of Dewey. Anyway, Dewey is like, fuck out of here, Gail. He doesn't say that, but he's like trying to be mean to her. Basically, kind of the same place we started in 2, except now Dewey is like in this Hollywood frame of mind, and Courtney is the more civil of the two, if that makes sense. As as Courtney Cox is leaving, we get a random cameo by Jay and Silent Bob, who were in a tour group where they're going around the studio a lot, and they like, I don't remember what Jay shouts out to her, but it was I was like, what? What is going on here? Um, After that whole thing, we go back to Sydney, who's staying at her dad's house for the night. Her dad wants her to come move back into town or whatever, but she's like, I like it where I am. She falls asleep on the couch that night, and she has a dream about her dead mom, like walking through the woods, and then her mom like looks at the camera, and Sydney wakes up. But then she hears like, Sydney, and she looks over, and her dead mom is in the window outside of the kitchen, and the mom's talking about how, everyone you touch dies, and you're just like me, and all this shit. And she like slides down the window, and then when Sydney goes to look for her, Ghostface pops up and breaks the window and grabs her. But I guess it was just a hallucination, which at this point through the 2 movies, whenever Ghostface popped up, it's been like legit. So it really caught me off guard when this time it was a hallucination and it wasn't. I was expecting like a whole chase scene to happen again, but it's just a figment of her imagination. This is when I say the dog has another scene, and the dog just like whines and walks off, and I was like, well, you're not a very good fucking guard dog. Your mom is over here like freaking out, and you're just gonna walk away. After this, we cut to a scene of this girl who in the movie is playing a character named Candy. And she's visiting like the Stab offices. Maybe it was John Milton's office, the producer. But she's visiting the office, and as she's there, she keeps hearing noises, and she can't find anybody. She might have been trying to visit Roman. Yeah, she was looking for Roman, and he was supposed to meet her there. And so she's looking for him. She keeps hearing these noises, and eventually, out of like a side door, Ricky jumps out at her, and he's got like a pair of scissors stabbed through his head. But it's just like makeup for the movie, and he scares her, and she's like, "You're a little shit, you know that?" And she's like, "Is Roman here? I'm supposed to meet him." And he's like, "Oh, I haven't seen him." So they leave. And as they leave, she gets a phone call, or she might even call Roman. No, she gets a phone call from Roman, and Roman's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm stuck on the 205 or whatever, And he's like, "I'm going to be a little late." And she's like, "Okay." But then as Roman's talking to her, he switches over to the Ghostface voice, and he's like, "I'm going to get you." And so she like goes and hides in this closet, where it ends up being like the wardrobe closet, because there's a bunch of Ghostface costumes everywhere on these racks. So she's hiding in there. This cop like comes in and is like, "Is anyone here?" And waits like a second, and he's like, and turns out the light and leaves. So as the cop leaves, we see that behind her, Ghostface is starting to like creep out. So he creeps out, he grabs the cart that she's on and rolls her through the double doors. So she goes out flying. They have a little fight, but they have this fight where it's really good because she picks up like a knife, but it's a prop knife for the movie, so it's all wiggly, Then she'll pick up a machete and she hits him, but it bends, and it was pretty funny, her picking up all these prop weapons and just, it doesn't do anything. And so eventually she tries to run away, but Ghostface stabs her in the back. That's how a lot of these confrontations end, if you haven't noticed yet throughout this movies, is that Ghostface usually just like stabs them in the back when they're leaving. Dew and Sydney after this are having lunch, and she, tells them that she tried to stick around the fucking town they're in. I can't remember the name of it. But she's like, that town sucks your soul away and everything. They talk about how they knew that they wouldn't work. They're just too different and all this shit. And she got offered this brand new show. She was like, it's the next 60 minutes. You know, I couldn't turn it down or whatever. And Do is like, well, because the lady's like, I want to be the next fucking uh, who's the lady that hosts 60 Minutes or whatever. Anyway, but Dewey's like, I liked you how you were, Um, Dewey tells her, he's like, off the record, I'll tell you that someone called the station a few months back and said they were looking, and said they were working on Stab 3, and they wanted to get the files on Sidney Prescott so they could, help the script along or whatever. But the people at the police station were like, no. So then a couple weeks after that, the police station was ransacked, and Courtney is like, oh, did he get the file? And Dewey's like, I had already taken out. Um, so Dewey's theory is that someone who's working on Stab 3 is the killer. Also, after this, they managed to figure out that uh, the killer is killing people in the order that they were killed in the movie script. And they figure this out because they go to meet with Jennifer, who's playing Gail in the movie. Also, as they're there, we meet her bodyguard, who is played by the guy who voices Crunk and Joe Swanson, who I don't remember his name, but he's in a whole bunch of shit. But he's there as a bodyguard. They figure out that, he's killing people in the order they were killed in the script. And next up on the script is Gail Weathers. So now they're like, oh shit, Courtney is next in line. Courtney and Dewey leave. And then as they leave, Jennifer like walks over to Crunk and she's like, huh, and she just jumps up into his arms. And I thought that was funny. I think I remember seeing at one point that was like improvised and she just did that. Also, during all this, we learned that Dewey is living here. He says that he needed a place to stay when he came here to work on the movie, and she liked having him around. So he's like staying, looks like in like the pool house, out back or whatever. But he's living here. Like I said, they never specifically say that these two were in a relationship, but it definitely seems like they were. Back to the police station, the two LAPD officers are talking. And they're talking about how, usually in these movies, don't the cops get killed? And the LAPD officer who started this whole thing, that talked to Courtney and gave her the case and everything, is like, well, one usually does, but one usually survives, And right after that, I was like, he's the killer. I was like, this LAPD guy is absolutely the killer. As they meet in the police station, they say that there's 3 different scripts, with different death scenes and shit going around to stop leaks from getting out. So they're not sure which one the killer read. So they're not sure who's actually next in line. Obviously, this has a lot to do with, like I said, on Scream 2, the scripts got leaked and all this shit. So that's just more meta stuff in this movie. Roman, the movie director, gets approached by the cops as they're at the police station, and they say that the girl who was murdered last night has a message on her cell phone from you saying come visit him there, and all this shit. And he's like, I never called her, and they're like, well, you gotta come with us. So they arrest him and they take him away. Sydney, back at her house, gets a phone call from a girl saying, that she killed someone and shit. And Sydney's like, well, you gotta go to the cops. I can't help you with that. And then as they're talking, Sydney's like, hey, I recognize your voice. And it ends up it's being her mom's voice that's talking to her. Also, on the phone, I swear it says that the phone call is coming from inside the house. And I was like, oh shit, But then Ghostface starts talking to her, and he's like, I'm gonna kill you, old Ghostface shtick. And so she hangs up on him and grabs a pistol, and she like looks around, but then that's the end of the scene. So I was like, I guess he was just playing with her, you know. But maybe I'm just dumb and that didn't say the phone call was coming from inside the house, but it sure looked like it did. But so now Sydney is like, fuck, this shit's happening again, you know. We go back to fake Gail's house where the actors are all sad and shit because the movie got canceled after the death of the girl playing Candy. Tommy, who played Dewey, is like ripping up the script and shit. Fucking fake Sydney is sitting there and she's just sad and stuff. Fake Gail and Dewey go into her bedroom and they're like looking at a photo of fake Gail. And, you know, Dewey's like, man, you look just like her and shit. And she says something about like, oh man, isn't she a bitch or something? And Dewey's like, no, you know, she's a good person at heart. She's just really selfish and shit, you know. As he's saying this, Courtney Cox had showed up and had snuck around the house to the door. And so she's watching him and she hears everything he's saying. But from behind, she gets grabbed by Crunk, who's like, what the fuck are you doing, you know? He takes her inside. They're like, what the fuck are you doing here? And she's like, listen. And she tells Dewey that Roman got released because the phone call that was supposedly him came from an untraceable phone. It wasn't his actual number and shit. She also says that as she was looking at the photo of Sydney's mom from earlier, she realizes that the age that Sydney's mom was in this picture would be between this period of time and Sydney's mom's life where she just disappeared for like 2 years off the map. And then she came back and that's when she met Sydney's dad and shit. As they're saying this, Dewey's like, well, hey, I recognize that picture, you know? And then he realizes that right before this, the picture he was looking at of Jennifer, who plays Gail, was in the same area. And it's the back lot of the movie studio that they're filming Stab 3 at. And so they're like, well, fuck, she must have something to do with this, you know? Outside now, Crunk is looking around for, you know, just like surveying the area. And then he goes inside of like his trailer or whether it's just, I assume he's staying in this trailer. He goes in and he gets a phone call from Dewey saying, hey, something came up. We got to go to the police station. You need to come inside and look after Jennifer. And for some reason, he gets really defensive after this. And he's like, oh, really? He's like, I got to do what you say, you know? He's like, I'm out here looking for killers so I don't end up like your little sister. And I was like, whoa, where did that come from, you know? But Dewey on the phone is like, oh, really? Well, that makes me really mad. And then Ghostface pops up behind him. And of course, you know, it's Ghostface talking, not really him. Ghostface stabs Crunk in the back. Then he picks up a frying pan and just starts beating the shit out of him. And then Crunk is like left laying down on the trailer and Ghostface leaves. Back in the house, Dewey and Courtney are talking when the front door like creaks open and shit. And Dewey fucking pulls 2 pistols out. He's dual wielding these shits and he points at the door, but no one comes. And then next to them, fake Gail comes out from a side room. And Dewey's like, oh shit, and points at her. And then behind him, Tommy comes out and he points a gun at him. And they're like, would you stop pointing the fucking guns at us? As they all get together, they look and they see Crunk walking to the door. And he's all fucked up and he falls down dead. And they're like, oh shit. So they all get together in the house. But then the lights go out. And so they're like, fuck, well, now they can't see. So they decide to go out back to the pool area and stay outside and all group up together. As they decide to do this, though, the fax machine starts to go to work. And they're like, what the fuck? So fake Gail picks it up and starts reading it and realizes that what it is someone's rewriting the script to Stab 3 and describing everything they're doing. He's like, I'm out back. I'm over here, you know, and he's like talking about what they're doing inside the house and shit. And fake Gail keeps wanting to finish what is being sent, but Dewey's like, we need to go outside. It's safer out there. So he pulls her away, but then after they go out there, Tommy is like, I gotta see what it says. So he goes in, he grabs the fax, but he can't read it because it's so dark. So he goes in the next room and takes a lighter and flicks it and reads it, and it says like, "Go, I will spare anyone who smells the gas." And he's like, "Huh?" And then the fucking house just blows up because Ghostface, I guess, had filled it up with gas. So the whole house blows up. Tommy's dead. Gale and fake Gale and Dewey go rolling off this hill. Till eventually they come to a stop, and as Dewey gets up, he sees Gale in the street, and Ghostface is coming up behind her. And Dewey's like, "Look out!" And he pulls out his pistol and fucking lights up Ghostface. But then as he comes to go down, he slips again, and when he stands back up, Ghostface is gone. So they're like, "What the fuck?" Gale is like, "Hey, thanks for saving me and shit," right? And then, of course, they go back to what they've been doing the last two movies, where they're sort of looking at each other. And then Gale goes in to kiss him, but before she can do that, fake Gale shows up, and it's like, "Where the fuck were you? You're supposed to be helping me, you know?" And she gets mad at him and punches him in the face. So then Courtney Cox punches her in the face, and they're arguing and shit. But as they're arguing, fake Sydney comes walking from down the road, and she's like, "You guys all right?" But they're like, "Hey, how do you get all the way over there? Where have you been at, you know?" And she's like, "Oh, he was going to try to kill us or something." So, also, immediately, I was suspicious of fake. Well, fake Sydney is super suspicious throughout this whole movie. So, to me, my guess is where it was going to be the LAPD guy and fake Sydney. That was who I had mapped out as the killers. As they have this discussion, by the way, they see the new picture was left behind of Sydney's mom, and written on the back it says, "I killed her." So now they go back to the police station, and they're like, "All right, what the fuck's going on? You know, we had already figured out it was Billy Loomis who killed her. Now someone else is taking credit for her murder, you know." And the main LAPD dude is like, "I need Sydney Prescott here now. She knows her mother better than anyone. We need her here." And Dewey is like, "I don't know where she is, you know?" So the guy starts threatening Dewey with legal action. He's like, "You're obstructing evidence, or, you know, and you're not helping out in the case." He's like, "I could, you know," he's just threatening Dewey, right? And so once again, I was like, well, this guy, you know, he wants Sydney here, you know, he's like, "You have to get her here and shit." But eventually Dewey gives in. He goes outside. He's trying to call her. Apparently it's like his third time. He's like, "Sydney, you know, it's my third time calling. I really need to talk to you." But as he's talking, behind him through the front door, Sydney comes walking in, and she's here now. When they go back into the police station, her and Courtney Cox have this weird, awkward hug where they don't really know if they're friends or not. They're kind of like, "Hey," you know, and then they eventually hug. Dewey talks about how, you know, the only person, because Sydney tells them that, you know, she got a call from Ghostface or whatever. And so Dewey, or Courtney asked Dewey, she's like, "Do you have Sydney's number saved on your phone?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so she's like, "Has anyone else used your phone?" And he goes, "Well, just Jennifer." That's fake Gale. And so then it's like, "Oh, maybe fake Gale, you know, called her or whatever." But they don't know. They're like, "We should go to the movie set," because they want to investigate more about this, the photo of her mom on the back lot. They go to the movie set, and as they get there, this random girl pops out of a trailer behind them, but they know her. And I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" Turns out it's Randy's sister. And she says, "Hey, I have something I need to show you guys." So she brings them into this trailer where she puts on a videotape that Randy have recorded. Jamie Kennedy is back this time in this video. He makes a video where he talks about, you know, "If you're seeing this, it's because I didn't survive the college murders, you know, how I expected to be killed or whatever." He's like, "That means that giving my virginity up to, like, I don't remember her name, but maybe wasn't a bad idea." And Dewey's like, you know, Jennifer Tilly, that's not her, but Jennifer Tilly, And on the videotape, Randy is like, yeah, Jennifer Tilly. And he's like, really? And Randy's like, shut up, you know? So Randy is like responding to the things that Dewey is saying. But basically, he's here once again to talk about the movie rules. The first one, it was just, the rules of a horror movie. The second one, it was the rules of a sequel. And now this one, it's the rules of a trilogy. And he says that, the killer will always be superhuman. Harder to kill. You're going to have to decapitate them, some shit like that, right? He says that everyone at the end of a trilogy is available to be killed. He's like, that means you, Sidney. And he says that everything you thought you know, forget about. There's always some backstory that comes back to haunt you from the past. And so you always need to be focused on stuff that happened before, And then to sign off, he says, good luck, Godspeed, and to some of you, I'll see you soon. And I thought that was a nice little touch, too. Fake Gail comes up to Courtney Cox after this and tells her that from now on, she's going wherever Courtney Cox is going because someone's trying to kill Courtney Cox. So if they come after fake Courtney Cox, I'll be with the real Courtney Cox and they'll kill you, and that's her master plan. So she sticks with Courtney Cox. They go down into like the studio or this room where all the files of past actors or actresses or something work, right? And working the table there is Carrie Fisher. And Courtney Cox is like, aren't you? And Carrie Fisher's like, no. And Courtney Cox is like, well, you really look like, and she's like, Carrie Fisher? Yeah, I know. She's like, I was up for the role of Leia too. Almost got it. But then, Carrie Fisher went and slept with George Lucas, So that was a nice little cameo. She takes her in the back. They manage to find a file on Sydney's mom, who apparently in these 2 years of her life that she went, missing, she had changed her name to a stage name, and she was here doing old horror movies with John Milton, who is also the producer of the Stab movies. After this, Sydney is in the bathroom, and she hears, like, noises and shit. So she, like, peeks under the stall again, and she sees someone stand up on the toilet. So she grabs pepper spray off her belt and kicks in the door, and it's fake Sydney who's standing there. And she has a ghost face mask. It drops down. And Sydney is like, what the fuck are you doing? And she said, I don't remember what even her excuse is for being there, standing on the toilet. But for the ghost face mask, she says that, she wanted a souvenir since the movie got shut down and all this shit. And Sydney lets her go. But me, I was watching it, I was like, this is the most bullshit fucking story I've ever heard. Like, you wanted this ghost face mask. You're standing on a goddamn toilet in the bathroom while Sidney Prescott is in front of you, But Sydney lets her go. As she leaves, Sydney sees that she left her brush on the ground. So she grabs the brush and she goes looking for her. And as she goes looking for her, she wanders onto the set, and it is the set from like back in the last couple of movies and stuff. And she's back at her, at her family home. She goes walking into her bedroom and she hears the old discussion that her and Billy had in the first one about the PG-13 relationship and, them having to be more intimate. Also, once again, in the background, there's a fucking Creed poster, and I was like, what's the deal with Creed throughout this movie, As she's sitting there, the bedroom door closes, and Sydney gets scared, and she's like, oh, and she backs up, but she backs up straight to a window, and Ghostface jumps out behind her, busts through the window and grabs her. She manages to get away, and it literally like recreates the first chase scene from the first Scream, where she's running up the stairs and shit. And she goes to run into the bedroom the room that she had locked herself in the first one, but it's a movie set, so she opens it up and just like walks out, and it's just a drop, because it's a set. So she hangs on, and she manages to like stand on this ledge. So when Ghostface comes, she grabs him and throws him, but he lands on like a bed, so he's not really hurt. She goes back into the fake house, and as she does, she hears her mom whispering again. And she follows her mom's voice until she comes into the bedroom where it's set up already for the movie to be this crime scene. And there's a body under the sheet. I think the body is supposed to be her mom's body, which is weird because this is the third movie. So wouldn't they have already discussed that in the first one? But I'm not sure. But someone's dead under there. I'm not sure who's supposed to be under there. But she sees this and she's like crying and stuff. She hears Dewey calling out to her, and she goes to the window and is like, "I'm over here, you know." But as she does that, she hears like her mom going, "That's a bad girl" or something. And she turns around and the person under the sheet stands up, and so she just jumps out the window. She's like, "Fuck this," and she jumps out the window and lands on the ground. And they eventually turn up the lights and they come in and they search the area and they're like, "We didn't find anyone, you know." Also, once again, the LAPD guy shows up super late, and yeah, and so that's the end of that scene. After that, we cut to Roman, who is meeting with John Milton, the producer, and he's talking about, not only did they kill my movie, now this guy's killing my actors. He's like, why couldn't this have happened on Stab 1 or 2, you know? And as he's talking, Courtney Cox and Dewey and fake Gail come busting into the office. Roman leaves. They interview John Milton about Sydney's mom. They're like, "You know her. She did movies for you and all this shit." And eventually, the guy doesn't like give up any information. And Dewey's like, or Gail is like, "I'll go on my show and unveil this whole thing," you know? So finally, the guy's talking about, you know, all right, well, it was the 70s and, you know, it was a different time. And basically, the guy had this party where the whole idea was that Sydney's mom would show up, fuck some dudes who could make some connections to get her in movies. Now, apparently, it happened, but Sydney's mom had maybe alluded that it wasn't of her consent. Maybe it was forced upon her and stuff, right? But he's like, she knew what she was getting into. We didn't do anything that she wasn't ready for. And then later she started talking about all this shit, you know? So yeah. So after that, we go back to the police station. And the LAPD guy has this conversation with Sydney where he's talking about, you know, he's haunted by ghosts too because he's a homicide detective and he knows what it's like living in a horror movie and having nightmares and ghosts that won't go away and all this shit. And then he starts asking her about her mom and what she knew about her mom and stuff. But Sydney's like, from over time, I've learned I don't really know anything about her, you know. But during the scene, they do make like this little connection about how both of their lives are like a horror movie, and they're both having ghosts from their past and all this shit. Meanwhile, also still the whole time, I'm like, well, now he's asking about the mom. I'm like, this guy is clearly the the killer. Dewey is in the car with Courtney Cox and fake Gail, and they get a phone call from Sydney, saying that they're over at John Milton's house and that they're having a party and all this stuff. The cast of Stab is getting together. You should come over. So they come. When they get there, Roman answers the door for them, and they're like, "Yeah, we're here to see Sydney." And he's like, "Oh, that's great." But the only Sydney he's alluding to is fake Sydney who's there. And they're like, "No, real Sydney." And he's like, "Oh, she's coming in a few minutes, you know." Roman is like, "I'm going to take a look around, you know." And Ricky is like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" He's like, every Stab movie we make, that's exactly how these motherfuckers get killed. He's like, "You're just going to go walking around, you know." So fake Gail is like, "I'll come with you, Roman," you know. So she goes with Roman. Ricky and fake Sydney go, and they go wandering throughout the house. And Dewey and Courtney Cox stay together. Roman goes down into the basement where all the old horror villain props are, where there's like ghosts and vampires. There's a ghost face down there. And he opens up this casket and sees like a ghoul or something like in the casket. And meanwhile, fake Gail is up at the top of the stairs and she keeps going, "Roman?" And he's not answering her. And she's like, "Roman?" And then it cuts away. Sydney at this point still hasn't shown up, and it's been like 20 minutes or something. So Courtney goes, "Hey, you have caller ID on your cell phone, right?" And Dewey's like, "Yeah." And so she tells him to redial the number that called them. So he does, and as he does, the closet behind them they start to hear the phone ring, and they open it up, and there's a cell phone there, and there's a ghost face mask, and the voice changer thing. And this is when they pick it up, and they realize that they have all the voices of all the people in the movie, and so they're like, "Fuck, someone set us up." They decide to split up and go get the groups of people. So Courtney goes to find Roman and fake Gail, and then Dewey goes to find Ricky and fake Sydney. So Dewey manages to find fake Sydney, or fake Ricky, or no, he is real Ricky, fake Randy. But he finds Ricky, and he's like, "Where the fuck is Sydney at?" And Ricky's like, "I don't know, she just kind of wandered off, So he's like, "All right, you need to come with me." We cut, and Courtney Cox is going down in the basement, and she's, Roman, Jennifer, and she wanders over to the casket that Roman was looking at earlier, and she lifts it up, and Roman is there with a knife in his chest, laying in the casket, and she's like, "Ah," and she drops the thing. Out of, like, the clothes next to her, fake Gail pops out, and she's like, "Is he dead?" And Courtney Cox is like, "We gotta get the fuck out of here, So she grabs her, starts running up these stairs. On their way out, fake Sydney pops out of what looks like a closet, but I think it was from a different room. And they're like, "We need to go. We got to meet up with Dewey. There's a killer." And fake Sydney is like, "Well, I'm just leaving, And they're like, "No, we need to, get together." And fake Sydney is like, "Listen, I didn't fuck a pig like John Milton to get this leading role just to die with you second-rate celebrities." And she goes running off. And I really like that line. Plus, there was a point earlier in the movie where Tommy was shit-talking fake Sydney, saying, "Who do you think she had to fuck to get this role?" And fake Gail was like, "Oh, well, she must have, you must have asked her out and she rejected you, huh?" And he's like, "That isn't what this is about." But anyway, fake Sydney runs away, but she runs straight into a hallway where Ghostface is, and he stabs her in the stomach. And once again, I was like, that's bullshit. I was like, she's alive, Upstairs, they hear Dewey calling them, so they go wandering upstairs, and they get up there. But before they can even, get in a conversation, Ghostface just jumps out and punches Sydney in the face. Not Sydney, Dewey in the face. Ghostface starts attacking everyone. He stabs Ricky in the side. And fake Gail goes running out of the room. Dewey's knocked out. Courtney Cox is, fucked up on the bed. And so he goes chasing after Ricky. Ricky is running down these stairs. And as he does, he looks back, and Ghostface comes to the stairs behind him. And Ricky just goes, "Oh, you motherfucker." It just keeps running. And Ricky's running down the hallway, and Ghostface grabs the carpet that Ricky's running on and flips it. So then the guy falls over, and he goes and grabs him and chucks him through a window outside of the house where he falls down to where the pool is. So, it was out of the second floor or whatever. So Ricky is dead. Fake Gail wanders into this room where it's like a two-way mirror where she can see into the bedroom. And on Dewey's side, it's just a regular mirror where you look at yourself. And it makes sense here because they've established John Milton as this creepy, sleazy producer dude. And so it makes sense that this two-way mirror is in the house. So that was a nice touch, She starts banging on it, but it is soundproof somehow too. But Dewey he's like, "Hey, the windows are shaking." So he starts to shoot out each mirror individually. And by the time he gets to where she is, Ghostface has already stabbed her a bunch of times. And so she's dead. But now Dewey has just broken all these mirrors. And this will come back to bite him because right after this, Courtney Cox and Ghostface go tumbling down the stairs into the basement together. And Dewey gets a phone call from Courtney Cox saying that she's locked in the basement. She needs him to come open the door and shit. But Dewey is like, "How I know this is really you? This could be, the killer." And she's like, Dewey, just come open the door. And he doesn't do it until he hears her start to scream because Ghostface wakes back up and starts to attack her. And Dewey opens the door, and as he goes to shoot, he's out of ammo. And so, if he wouldn't have shot all those fucking mirrors, he would be all right. Ghostface, as Dewey is at the top of the stairs, takes his knife and chucks it and just doinks Dewey in the center of the head with the handle, and knocks Dewey out, and he tumbles down the stairs. Courtney Cox jumps on top of him, and then as she looks up, Ghostface is there with the knife, and then it cuts away, and that's the end of that scene. Sydney is still at the cop dude's desk, and as she's there, she starts going through all his shit, and she sees all these newspaper clippings of her and stuff circled about her and all this shit, and she's getting freaked out. And I was like, I told you it was him, And as she's looking at it, she gets a phone call from Ghostface, telling her, hey, I have your friends. And you hear Courtney Cox and Dewey yelling in the background and shit. Ghostface tells her to come to the house, and they can talk. Sydney gets there. As she walks up, she sees Ricky dead on the ground, and next to him is a metal detector. And Ghostface, who's still on the phone with her, tells her to scan herself, So she goes through her whole body, but then Ghostface is like, the other leg. So she goes through her other leg, and there's a pistol in her sock or whatever, and she has to take it and toss it out into the pool. Finally, he lets her come inside, and we see Dewey and Courtney Cox tied up in chairs. She goes to untie them, and as she does, she gets just fucking punched by Ghostface, and she falls on the ground, and Ghostface is like, ha, but then she pulls out a second gun out of nowhere, and she's like, got you, and she just lights him up, shoots him 6 times in the chest, and he falls down. She starts to untie Dewey and them again, but then when they look back, Ghostface is gone. And she's like, but I shot him. I shot him 6 times, And so she goes to peek around the hall, and as she does, the LAPD dude shows up. And now they're at a standoff where they both have their guns drawn on each other. And she's like, where were you? What are you doing here, And he's like, I heard shots. I came here, Eventually, he puts the gun down. He's like, come on, Sydney, just drop the gun. And so eventually she does, and as she does, Ghostface comes up behind her, and the LAPD dude is like, no! And he jumps and pushes her out of the way, but as he does, she hits her head on the wall, so she's all loopy and shit. LAPD dude and Ghostface are fighting, but eventually Sydney manages to get back up and fire off a shot at Ghostface, to draw his attention, but she's out of ammo. So she's just like, hey, follow me, asshole. So she goes running. Ghostface is following her. She runs into John Milton's office and somehow knew that this guy would have a book lever, where a fake door would be. So she goes to the bookcase and just starts tossing all the books off. And sure enough, she finds a book and turns it, and it opens up this entrance into a whole nother room. So she goes, locks herself in that room, and as she goes in, she hears her mom's voice again and looks, and there's a bunch of projections of home videos of her mom on the wall and shit. And she's like, what the fuck, Ghostface comes creeping out of the hall next to her, and he's wearing the bloody sheet again from earlier from the crime scene. And he takes it off, and he shows her that he's wearing a bulletproof vest, and that's how he survived the shots. That's also because earlier Dewey's like, maybe I missed him when he shot him, but once he was probably just wearing the vest, So he shows her the vest, and then he's talking about how, how he had a mom too, and he went looking for her, and she had a whole new life and kicked him out on the street and all this shit. And he takes his mask off, and it's Roman. And I was like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting Roman at all, really. And I will give credit to Roman, the guy playing Roman, because when it revealed, it was kind of lackluster to me. I was like, this guy, really? But by the end of it, I thought he did a believable job as the killer, and his motive was good. Even though, like, I liked Timothy Oliphant better in Scream 2, his motive was kind of weird. Obviously, Billy's mom was there too, and that's kind of what the bigger motive was. But Timothy Oliphant was just all about, like, blaming it on movie violence or something. But so the motive was good. Uh, yeah, and I thought Roman won me over as the killer. He had to earn it because at first I was like, this fucking guy is the killer. Um, anyway, Roman tells her that basically Roman has been pulling the strings from the beginning. He had it to where Billy's dad slept with her mom, and Billy would kill her, and all this shit. And he's been directing the whole thing. This whole time, it's been him behind everything, just to try to make Sydney's life a living hell because he or she's living what should be his life, and his mom wanted her, not him, and all this shit. Once again, Sydney's mom, kind of a piece of shit, just kicking her son out on the fucking street. Sydney's mom's a real asshole in these movies. Dewey, we go to the scene real fast of Dewey running over to the LAPD guy, and him and Courtney Cox are free now, and the LAPD guy, like, gives him his gun, and he's like, go help her. Back to Roman and them. Roman pulls out John Milton, who's all tied up, and plays a recording that he sent to John Milton using the voice changer of Sydney's voice, being like, I'm gonna make you pay for everything you've done and stuff. And he's gonna blame Sydney for killing John Milton, says that, John Milton made your mom a slut. He's the reason all this shit's happened to you and all this shit. And then he cuts John Milton's throat, and John Milton, the sleazy producer, is dead. They fight. As they're fighting, Dewey and Courtney are at the door trying to open it up, but it's locked. And Dewey is like, hey, wait a minute, I got something, And he goes over and picks up a pair of tweezers and just, like, sticks it into the electrical outlet and gets shocked, so the lights go out. And I don't really know what the fuck that had to do with them getting in this room, but it made me laugh, him just go, and just getting shocked, But the lights go out. The LAPD dude is over at the other side of the room, and he manages to pick the lock on the door, and so he comes creeping in and sees Sydney laying there, but he doesn't even, like, get into the room, and Ghostface is just, like, standing on the side and just hits him with a chair, and the LAPD dude is knocked out again. He goes over to the cop and, like, goes to kill him, but he's like, his knife is missing, and then Sydney's like, missing something, and she holds up the knife, and then Roman is like, found something, and he has the cop's gun, and he fucking shoots her in the chest, and then he goes and stands over her, and he shoots her in the chest one more time, which, kind of bullshit. I think a killer would shoot you in the fucking head, because they know. But he shoots her in the chest again. Dude goes out into the other room, and I think this is when he notices that his vest is missing, maybe. Or he starts freaking out. It might just be because Dewey and them are getting closer. But he's looking for his vest, but then he gets a phone call, and he's like, huh? But it was a distraction because Sydney jumps up behind him and stabs him in the back. And then she stabs him in the chest, too. She also shows that, she was wearing the vest, and so that's how she lived. I don't know when the fuck she got this vest on underneath her clothes, but sure, once again, just kind of turn your brain off. Sydney holds his hand as he dies, which they do that. I've seen that a lot in the horror, and it's like, what are all these people holding? Just because this guy, you met him for a second, and he was like, I'm your half brother, but he fucking killed all these people, and you're gonna hold his hand. I was like, what are you doing, So anyway, he dies. Sydney starts to walk away. And they're like, huh, he wasn't superhuman after all. But then dude jumps up again, and Dewey just starts laying into him with his gun. And the guy's just like, come on, come on. He's just eating these bullets. And finally, Courtney Cox is like, in the head. And so he fires off one more shot and hits Roman in the head. And Roman falls over. And now he is finally dead. After this, we cut to what I assumed was a lot more time than I think it was, because Dewey and Courtney Cox are standing on their porch, and they see Sydney like walking up to her house on the street or whatever. And then Dewey pulls out her book that caused all the controversy in number 2, and is like, "Can you sign this for me?" And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Just sign it." And she opens up, and there's a wedding ring in the book. And he's like, "I know it isn't gonna work, but I figure we should at least try." And she says yes. And it was kind of like, because at this point they were already married in real life, Courtney Cox and David Arquette. And obviously, I think they got divorced like 2017. So it was kind of sad watching him be like, I know it's not gonna work between us, but we'll have a lot of fun or whatever between. And clearly, I think they're still on good terms. Obviously, they've made the next 2 movies, and this one they're divorced in it. And she was in his documentary when he became the You Can't Kill David Arquette, when he was becoming a wrestler, and so I think they've been friendly, but obviously the relationship's ended. But anyway, we go, and Sydney's going back up to her ranch house, and she walks in. Her dog's here. That's when I was like, oh, the dog made it. And this is why I said I don't think as much time had passed as I thought, because the LAPD dude is here too, and he's still wearing a sling. And I was like, well, this fight must have happened a couple days ago or something, And the LAPD dude is like, hey, we're watching a movie, come in with us. And him and Dewey and Courtney Cox go walking into a movie. And Sydney's like, oh, okay, And so she goes to follow him, but as she does, the front door creeps open. And she just kind of looks at it and smiles and walks away and leaves the door open. And the final shot of the movie is the door open, and then it just cuts to black. And I thought that was a really solid ending of how she's overcome this fear of, even though she probably really shouldn't, because it seems like all these killers keep coming back. She'd probably close her fucking door. But I thought it was a really solid ending. And that's the end of Scream 3. This movie had a budget of $40 million, made a box office of $161 million. Also, once again, this is the second time this has fucking happened. The first one, they missed the pad when they were stabbing Billy, and they stabbed him with the umbrella in the chest, and it really hurt. This time, Sydney missed the pad when she plunged the thing into Roman's back, and so he really got fucking hurt with the thing stabbing him. And I was like, guys, we really need to be better on these fucking on these stunts. And then finally, in a 2009 interview, Matthew Lillard claimed that he had been contacted to reprise his role as the primary antagonist, having survived his apparent death in Scream. And it would orchestrate that he was in prison, orchestrating all these killings and, all this shit. And obviously it fell through after the Columbine massacre, because it had a lot to do with these high school murders and, all this shit. So the script was rewritten. And Matthew Lillard hasn't been back in them. I haven't seen Scream 5 yet. Once again, that was a rumor I heard, that maybe he was back. I don't think he will be, but it would be cool if he was. But yeah. Best of, worst of for Scream 3. My best of will be the prop fight between the girl playing Candy and Ghostface in the offices of Roman. It was fun. Her picking up the fucking machete and hitting them and it not working and all this shit. And it was pretty funny. Worst of, I don't know. I'll probably just say the The gore. That's what I'm gonna say. The gore is the worst of, because the second one had some pretty solid, like the pole through the fucking the head, and there was one more in there that was pretty grisly. And the first one, there was a lot of organs and shit being chopped out, but this one it was just stabs, and there was an explosion, and that was it. Like there was no creativity on these kills whatsoever. So that'll be my worst of. But anyway, that's about it for Scream 3 from 2000. Next week, Monday, we'll be looking at Scream 4. And then finally, after that, we'll be on the brand new Scream 5. So keep a lookout for those. Friday coming out will be A Clockwork Orange. Go check that out. And yeah, appreciate everyone watching. Thanks for anyone subscribing recently. And I'll see you Friday for A Clockwork Orange. Alright, bye guys.